Hey up, it says I'm live. Hello, folks. 9 o'clock, Sunday night, UK time. It is time for the Sunday Nighter. And yes, I'm doing it off the laptop, so I've got no idea how I sound. Not sure about the colours, but I'm here. How are you doing, folks? Right. People are jumping on. I remember I used to ask you for 10 taps, but for the life of me, I can't remember what I used to ask you to say. Hell yeah, that was that. 10 taps, 4 for the health, 1 for the space, 4 for the yeah, 1 to put a smile on my face. Now that feels like we're doing it more properly. Hello, Tam. I see Diggy, I see Patrick, I see Gary, Tim, Gunnar, Diane, Insane, CJ, Ben, Allied, Andy, Cozzy, Knots, Russ, Gary, Rick, Ethan. Oh, well, I see a lot of old names. Right. That angle's a bit bad. Let's see if I can move this a bit closer. Is that a bit better? Yeah, that's a bit better. Right. Next time I'll see about rigging up a mic and perhaps getting you a bit better, what you call it, audio quality. I'm doing it off my laptop because I'm still struggling with my PC and still having technical issues with it. I just didn't want to even attempt to risk it with doing a live stream. As you know, I'm getting back on the channel and that sort of stuff. And so I'm trying to keep everything as simple as possible. And I wasn't even planning on doing any live streams. And I just thought, you know what? It's Sunday night. There's no reason I can't just jump on my laptop, and come say hello. So I thought that would be the battle plan. Now, my head was a bit big then. Now, I haven't got any, I've got questions in the, on that you wonderful people left on the first vlog. Yeah, so we can go through those and have a chat. But I thought we'd just have a general chat about what I've been doing, that sort of stuff, where I am. I see James, Plastic, Joanne, Bat, Tim, Monkey King, Campaign, Tom, loads. Craig, hey up, Craig. Thank you for dinner, Craig. Say hi to Sam for me. Craig Burks from Uncertain Scenery in the chat. I know Craig, but I know Craig because Craig's he actually lives about 2 miles away from me, but his partner is an old college friend of mine. Yeah. And so I went round to tea for tea with them tonight. So that was really nice. So that's Craig from Uncertain Scenery. He does laser cut stuff, but he does these awesome boards. So I'm thinking about it for the Kill Team project. I haven't got an ability to share my screen. So yeah, I don't even think I can type it in because my link blocking, but it's Uncertain Scenery and we'll show some of his stuff off soon. Hello, afternoon from the west coast of States, Mel. West Coast. And Vorpal's still calling me ugly. No change there. Rich is saying hello from Australia. Do you know, I forget, where in the world you guys and how far this sort of reaches out. Go on, let's have a giggle. Tell me where you're at right now. Where are you watching from? Hit the chat. Come on, let's do it properly. We've got Leeds, we've got Canada. Notts, Belgium, Gateshead, Deutschland, Liverpool, Austria. Oh, here we go. Sweden, Mexico, Norway, Germany, USA, Scotland, Notts, California, Hungary. Oh, yeah, Kent, Belgium, Denmark. Diggy's on the International Space Station. He wishes. Minnesota, the Lead Belt. Someone lives in Daytona Beach. That sounds awesome. Hampshire, Scotland, Sofia. Kentucky. France. Excellent. You're the first France I've seen tonight. Do I need to say Stoke? No, Craig, you don't. Wales. Lovely bit. North or south, Latimer? I have a preference for North Wales. The mountains are beautiful. Nick from the Netherlands in Boston now. That's a bit of a change. That's a bit of a cultural change, as they say. There you go. Tam's put the link up for Craig's stuff. Go check it out, folks. He's got some awesome comms towers that would work great for what you call it for 40k and stuff like that. He's got an excellent castle build that you need to check out, even if you don't do anything medieval. But check out his baseboards. Yeah, that's what I'm interested in, if you know what I mean. Tewkesbury, very nice. How's the French elections going? Don't bring politics in. No. I mean, if we're going to comment on the world, all I'm going to comment on is obviously what's going on, in Eastern Europe right now, which is we don't need it. Politicians need to get their heads banged together and things need to be sorted. And that's all I'm saying on that. Yeah, because we keep the whole purpose of this whole stuff is for us. It's what we do to keep that sort of stuff out. But obviously, with something like that going on, you can't not comment to a certain extent. So let's hope the people who are paid bloody good money actually pull their fingers out and earn it, eh? And let's leave it at that. In the meantime, on Terrain Talk, as you know, I have been finding peace, my inner peace. Yeah. Oh, that's going to attempt a bunker following my tutorial. Nice. Mark, you do not want me as Prime Minister. Actually, I reckon I could sort some shit. Sorry, pardon the language. I reckon I could sort some stuff out. Thank you, Rusty Beetle. Mal gave me very good instructions on how to build my Vietnam swamp battlefield. Well, make sure you post it in the Terrainiacs, mate. The links are down below. Yeah, if you're not aware what the Terrainiacs group is, I'm really surprised because you should be. It's our support group. Basically, jump on there. You can post your terrain on there. I'm back in the group and I'm posting and I'm sharing. So if you want to show me something you built off a tutorial, links is down below. Thank you, Mark. Diggy saying at least I've got better hair than Boris. Tim saying Mel as PM and Lord Buckethead as Minister of Defence. Well, he is the man with the specialist knowledge in political knowledge on lasers. Right. For everyone who doesn't know what you call it, British politics, a couple of elections ago, we had a Prime Minister called Theresa May. And in her constituency, when it came to her election, when she had to sort of stand to be an MP again, yeah, so she qualified to be like the Prime Minister. Yeah, one of the people who ran against her was Lord Buckethead. And he was basically Darth Vader with a bucket on it. And he almost beat her. He beat quite a few of the other parties, but he almost beat her. Yeah. So, yeah, if I was elected Prime Minister to lead this fine country, then I can think of no one finer, yeah, than Lord Buckethead, yeah, for Minister of Defence. If we're going to go down this route, yeah, if we're going to go down this route, then we might as well have a bit of a giggle. So, I think, okay. I think I'm not sure whether for education or foreign secretary, yeah, screaming Lord Such of the monster raving loony party. I mean, if we're going to make a mark on the world, we might as well make it entertaining. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't think our mark's been that great recently. So, let's get the monster raving loonies in there. Re-establish, a British reputation abroad. So who are we going to have for education? No one on TikTok. Do you know what? I'd have the what do you call it? The British astronomer dude, our version of like Elon, who looks at the stars. Is it Brian Cox? Let's have him for education. I mean, at least he's educated and he knows about education. Oh, people are saying John Cleese for education, Alice Cooper for education. Screaming Lord Such has been dead for 23 years. Tam, that's even better. Talk about establishing a presence on the world stage. David Attenborough for education. No, David Attenborough for the environment. Yeah, but only on the on the basis that we attach to them a regimental sergeant major from the paratroopers. Yeah, so that when like companies are making massive pollution, yeah, I mean, David can talk his nice words, and then if they don't get them, we can apply. His words can be expressed in a more directional manner. Did you happen to go to Ugmore Heights High School? Why do I look like a troll? Right, that's Jeremy Clarkson for transport. Right, okay, this is very Eurocentric chat and it's been a giggle. Yeah. Well, come on, let's talk some, what do you call it? No, we are not having Will Smith as the Secretary of Defense. Bang. Do you know, I will comment on the Will Smith controversy. And there's one thing going up and slap and all that sort of stuff. But it doesn't work that well if you what you call it, if you're laughing at the joke first. You know what I mean? Right, enough of politics. Let's talk terrain. Yeah. So, as you know, I've been getting back into my sort of mojo, and I think we've established just over this week that my real challenge with getting back on the channel is, if anything, I've been trying to jump in back where I was, or even better than I was, trying to do things even better now and restarting. And I'm actually just not there. Now, the fact of the matter is, we've proven that passion for terrain is there, the creativity is there. We've proven that I can definitely, all right, I'm 90% there towards expressing views towards cameras when we're in the moment and I'm just going along. Yeah. And even though I'm working off, my basic sort of laptop setup, even though that, I can still regularly produce videos. Yeah. So I'm feeling a lot better about where I actually am. Because I mean, the whole idea of this 30 days thing, do this for this month, was I thought I was much further down. And I'm actually a lot better than I thought I was. But we're still up here. And I figure the best way for me to sort of handle that moving forward is carry on with this vlogging, like I've said. Yeah. But have a play with doing a few smaller videos, stuff that takes 1-2 days. Yeah, that is quite easy to film, whilst continuing with my Burma build and vlogging that, because I can vlog that in the moment, so I can still get into the in-depth stuff, but I can have a practice of making some more smaller tutorials. So tomorrow I am going in and I'm giving it a go, and I'm going to try and do a tutorial on how to do backdrops. Yeah, for when you take your photos and that sort of stuff. And then I've got another, I've got another video I'd like to do on storage, specifically storing complicated sets, because I've got a complicated village set I need to store. And if I'm going to do it, well, we might as well see if we can get a video out of it. What do you reckon? Right. You see, this is the problem when you jump in the comments when you're halfway through a thread. You don't know what everyone's talking about. Shakus and Spruce is saying, don't forget to take some time off as well. I'm quite enjoying it. You know what I mean? And I think even opting to do this live show rather than recording the video of me chatting with all the, chatting, answering questions and stuff like that. I think it's easier. Yeah, now it's simpler. Right. Oh, question from Tim. How to use dry waiting time most effectively? The best way of using your dry waiting time, yeah, i.e. the stuff waiting for dry, is to have multiple projects, projects in tandem. Yeah, smaller things that you can work on whilst you're working on big things. Now, that's not a good thing for me at the minute, as we've established, but that's the best way. If time is a factor and you're losing, if you're losing hobby time because things are sitting while they're drying, just have prep work planned for your next project, or even your design time. You know, your dry time for a project can become your design time for your next. So you actually, right, this is the time when, if I'm hobbying, if things are drying and I've got nothing to do, I sit down and sketch out ideas. Otherwise, you get to that situation where you might not sketch out ideas because you go straight from finishing one project to starting the next. Yeah, so it's a bit like when in the studio I've started doing this thing where when I know something's drying, I'll go do a bit of an admin job in the studio. Yeah, before I was like, if something was drying and right, I'm not going to be able to do anything on that for a few hours. I'd often leave the studio, to be perfectly honest. You know, I wouldn't get set in. I'd be very focused because everything's on top of me. Yeah, but now I sort of work on the basis, right, if that's drying, then do something like that. Yeah, but that's putting the rule in place, yeah, to do something like that. Not to say, and that sounds good. Storage would be useful. I'm getting a bit creative with that one. Cumro Dave is saying, great to see you live again. Really love it, the new content. For smaller tutorials, maybe you could remaster some of your older back to basics video. Your audio quality has increased immensely in the interim. I think I do want to go back and revisit the back to basics because I've learned a lot since I've done those as well. But at the same time, yeah, I don't want to just be rehashing content. You know what I mean? Thank you, GP. Diggy saying use a vacuum cleaner to dry your project. Diggy. Loads of people are wishing me well. Thank you, guys. I feel a bit weird. I feel like my head's down here. We'll figure it. We'll figure it. Rebasing the basics. Back to rebasing the basics. Back to basics revamped. I could just label them second edition. I mean, to be truthful, the PVA one was the first video I ever did on the channel. So I think of all the videos you could go back and go, and I'm redoing this one. Yeah, probably that one. Mel, do you ever do 15 mil or 1/100th scale terrain? I haven't done it in donkey's ages, and really donkey's ages now. It's not really my forte. Yeah. And I think what it is I don't delve into it because I haven't done it in so long. And so I don't really feel like I've got anything to teach those who are actually into that scale terrain. You know, at least with 28 mil, it's what I've done all my life. So at least I feel like I'm talking from a position of knowledge. Yeah. Whereas, like, you know, the smaller scale stuff, I haven't really done that much of it in all, maybe one or two tables in my life. You know, so I don't really feel like especially when I'm talking to people who've probably made more small scale terrain than I have. You could use waiting time to read or reread Mel's book. I think there's a link below for that in the watch your description if anyone hasn't got it by now. I'd be surprised if any of you, because most of you lot are right on it. Yeah, links obviously to Patreon and PayPal. If you're loving me being back, yeah, links down below. Send a tip. It's all grateful. I should check that because I don't want to think I've missed anyone. I haven't done a shout out, yeah, so I don't think I've missed anyone because I haven't had any donations. But do one quick one. No, we're good. Right, I haven't missed anyone. Right. James is saying Mel's book is so good, I bought it twice. I must admit, even I'm impressed with the book. Good evening, Mel. First time here. I've heard some amazing things about you through Models for Heroes 2048 charity build. Very much looking forward to learning some of your techniques. Welcome aboard, buddy. He seems rather confident, doesn't he? He thinks he hasn't been told the whole story. You have no idea what you're in for, mate. Welcome to the madhouse. Oh, Planet Turbo's waiting for his copy. Nice one. Mal, loved your beach with Cliff Projects. Great inspiration for my Utah beach project. I did the bunkers out of phone board following your tutorials. Great channel. Nice one, buddy. Return of the Mal. Oh, thank you, Michael. Mal, I've recently got. Oh, I think. Oh, actually. Simon Thief. See, thank you, buddy. Any message? Not even a message, but thank you, buddy. I've forgotten what this was like. You lot are not going to make me cry tonight. We are not doing that. You might make me dance. I don't know. That's up to you, but you are not making me cry. Right. Call of Odin. The lad wants to get into 15 mil, but as I get older, they get harder to see. Do you know what? I've noticed a little bit of that. Yeah, I have noticed. But then again, you stand far enough away from the table. I will be honest with you. I do. I have got a bit of a hankering around Flames of War, the modern one, or I did have until all this stuff started off. Yeah. And then it's sort of like, gee. But at some point, I really should have a go at some small scale stuff. I hear battle techs become massive in the community. Any tips for using 2-part epoxy in swamp scatter pieces? Best thing advice I can give you is go check the water and snow playlist. Yeah, there's a video in there with all my tips for working with 2-part epoxy resins, mate. There's far too much for me to sort of explain in a video. But above all, double pot. Andy's asking me, out of all your projects, which brought you the most joy? First off, my kids. Second, do you know what? I think it was probably the foreground Legends of the Fable Realms map board. Because it was the first. Everything else I've done is terrain, and I can do terrain and I can knock out great boards and they look great. But that was the first time I'd applied my skills to something completely different. Yeah, and to see that come together. And it was very much because that's the only piece that I've ever felt was actually, dude, thank you, buddy. No. So anyway, yeah, I think, love your stuff. I sell your book in my shop too. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Tower Games. Good to see you back at it. It's good to be back at it, mate, in all honesty. Going back to the favourite build, that's got to be what I think the foreground Fable Realms map. If anything, because it was actually like a piece of art. In that it wasn't a board that was designed to sit on a table. It could be hung on a wall and it had a frame. And I think that was the one where I, sitting back in the end and just looking at it, yeah, and seeing people's reactions when I unveiled it. Yeah, that was probably my watch clip. The only place I really feel is like art, if you know what I mean. Loads of people are saying the map board was great. I want to do another one, okay, but I'm not sure how to do it. to be perfectly honest. But I want to do a node-based campaign map, yeah, for Burma. So at the minute, I'm hammering loads of books on Chindits and what went on in Burma and that sort of stuff, and looking at maps. I've sort of gone off on a tangent, and also I've discovered I've got like a year's worth of Audible credits to use. So I've basically nailed all the Far East Burmese World War II books for this idea of doing like a Burma map, yeah, for Bolt Action to play a campaign on. But I'm not sure how that's going to pan out. Has Corb's dad worked out who you are yet? Yes, he has. I've sent him a book. Do a little back to basics while you do other projects. I just love more new content to put on while I do my hobby. It's finally priming season where I live. Burma 3D hex map. I was thinking possibly 3D hex. Maybe hit the guys up at Callistra. I don't know. Or whether to do it spider node. I'm not sure at the minute. You should do a map that can be portable, foldable, and able to put away to save space. Maybe possibly one that can be customized by the player itself. Is that something that's possible? It's certainly possible, mate. I mean, folding and putting away maps, but I quite like the idea of having something that hangs on the wall, a feature. Do you have any plans for sci-fi related? I'm looking to set up a complete modular space hub setup. To be honest, by the end of this month, I expect to be getting stuck into all that plastic and all the sci-fi stuff I had. Yeah, at the start of the pandemic, and we started. It's all in there in the next room. The only reason I've started playing around with Burma build is it's sort of my soul food, if you know what I mean. Epic Leather Craft, good to see you, buddy. Nice. Call of Odin saying the tip from the book on plastic to PVA for palm trees. No, PVA to paint for plastic palm trees. Work to treat. Good to hear, buddy. I'm considering building a Malpad variant of leopard dropship. See, you lot always worry me when you do things like that. It is deeply concerning. I love to see a modeler series where you get to craft a 12x12 PC that will connect to the next piece in the series, making. To be truthful, that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm looking. I mentioned earlier Craig, from Uncertain Scenery that Tam shared the link for. He does these baseboards that I think I can modify and add things to actually make a tile-based sci-fi board that I quite like the idea of. So I'm going to go up in and see him at his studio, yeah, and see what I can do and get one tile and sort of use it as a concept, and then start adding. Because my plan is to have the GW plastics. I've got some Mantix plastics. I've got all my foam stuff as well. Yeah, but it's the baseboards. I picked up some of the Necromunda tiles, the small ones, and they're nice and everything, but they're not quite what I'm looking for or what I need. So definitely sci-fi stuff coming if things keep going well. Yeah, lots of industrial. I'm probably going to be building a 3x3 board to start off with, and then just go from there. Now I'll try looking at Hexton Hills for a really good hex concept. Okay, let's do that now. Hexton Hills. Ah, it's 3D printing, is it? Ah, they're like the old, what you call it, Mighty Empire. Yeah, I see what you mean. I can do variations on my boards, custom for your needs, mate. We will have to see. I will have to get my creative juices flowing, as they say. Take a look for Palan Fields for his Lord of the Rings game. It has a built-in smoke machine. Damn. Looking to do an Endor type sci-fi board for Star Wars Legion. For one Ewok type hut, suspended railways, make it multi-level. That's a hell of a thing. That would be a hell of a thing. I like the. I was talking with Craig about this earlier because his stuff stacks and it's modular and it works on a 3-inch cube, so you can build it up. And I've always liked multi-level stuff. Yeah. So that's my interest. You know, I tried to do it with the GW plastics, and I got so far, but you know, you just don't have the volume to complete like the cityscape. So a mixture of MDF and a mixture of what you call it, some foam buildings, I think will work well. Return of industrial train. Mine hasn't moved on much like yours. Dusting it off right now. I think we both are, to be truthful. I've got quite a bit, you know, there's quite a lot for us to sort of mess around with. And no doubt once I start, once I start rolling, then, you know, I'll also get the 3D printer running and we'll get things throwing on it from there. But we'll have to go with that one. Make it a 2-level flare with a little path down the middle. A path. I want gantries and I want lifts and all sorts. But I know Craig's stuff does that. Patrick's planning on a Wookiee board. I do need to print some water slides. So I need to get some transferable paper. Shrubberies on Endor. That'd be good. They are 3D printed, but the Hexton Hills. I mean, all you'd have to do is sculpt them, to be truthful. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the Burma build. I really do need to work that one out. But there's definitely mileage in it, if you know what I mean. I mean, right now I'm working on the temple. I'll have the temple finished this coming week, even with me just taking it nice and slow. Now, the temple is it's actually part of the Burma building. It's become quite a bit of a feature piece, yeah, without any real thought, if you know what I mean. It's just sort of, I hadn't really planned to make it. It was just, we grabbed this and now it's become a feature piece of the Burma build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on building that and vlogging that as we go, you know, on my daily vlogs. But what we'll do is I'm going to sort of take the photos as I go and that sort of stuff. And then I'll do a bit of an overview video for it. Yeah, on the basis that it's sort of a build that's part of the Big Burma build, but it's not part of the Big Burma build playlist. So if I do like a short overview video of the build, yeah, then at least I can put that in like the proper Burma build playlist as a single video. So that like I get like a year from now and I'm working on something and someone goes, where's the video on Where's the video on the temple? What are your thoughts on having lighting and sound effects on gaming boards as you play? Sort of ambient sound like far-off gunfire explosions, birds chirping, the odd dialogue. I think, uh, I think, I think you've got to. In fact, this is quite a good question. Come on, then, let's do this properly. Right. So the idea of lighting, sound effects, smoke effects, or let's call them cinematics. Yeah, because that's what it is. Yeah, you see this drifting into gaming every so often, and I've seen it at shows, and you see people, and it's not something that takes off too massively. Yeah, but whenever it does, there's always an interest in it, you know. And the idea of throwing LEDs and little mini smoke machines into things, into your models, has been going back long before I was the train tutor. You know, I remember plastic rhinos, which had like LED headlights and stuff, you know, and you could press on like the bolters and they'd make shooty sounds. Yeah. Now, so cinematics is nothing new to our hobby. Yeah. And it definitely does increase the experience. But the question is, what's part of the terrain and what's part of the gaming environment? You know, if you think about it, sounds and that sort of stuff, that's actually an environmental thing. Unless it's something specific, you know, where if your model is moving to this certain area, yeah, you could say that was board related. But generally, background, ambient, distant, gunfire, stuff like that, that's ambience, you know. When it comes to lighting, you can have your strobe lighting, your flash lighting, and that sort of stuff in your gaming area. But you can also have lighting on boards. I'm slowly adjusting over to the idea of lighting. I quite like it. Yeah, done tastefully, a bit like nudes. Yeah, but I do actually quite like the idea of lighting. Smoke machines, my only little concern with those is the residue they leave. They can leave a sticky residue from the syrup. Yeah, all the smoke machines I've had experience of using, yeah, can have that effect. So yeah, they can be put on board and that sort of stuff. The question it should be, above all, yeah, does it enhance the gaming or not? So let me give you an example. Yeah, there was a game at Salute, yeah, which was full of smoke machines. It was full of lighting, but they had to erect it. They had to erect a tent over the board. This big, massive sort of big tent, marquee, sort of, not marquee, but a big tent with the boards inside. And when I got in, I actually realised that you've got to make it so dark to see the lights and the effects that people are struggling to actually game on it. And so I think when it comes to cinematics, when it comes to effects and everything like that, you should look at it that on the basis of taking it as far as, it improves the game and the immersion until it starts getting in the way of actual gameplay. Yeah. So a little smoke floating across everywhere, great. If you've got to go every time you need to see if you've got line of sight on a model, it's getting in the way. You know what I mean? Ambient lighting is great, but if you've got to drop, if ambient lighting on the board or object source lighting, on the board is great. But if you've got to drop the actual lighting in the room, down to a level that's so dark that people can't see their rosters to see your ambient lighting, then you're breaking the game. You know what I mean? And you're not creating the immersive experience. So I think when you should do these things, when you're approaching lighting and stuff like that, if you're going to light up a piece of terrain, light it up where it would be naturally dark. So for example, just 1 second, I've got a bit of a mute. Pardon me. So, Corbin, hello. I'm live on YouTube, mate. I'm doing the Sunday nighter. Just let you know, it appears my son has just turned up out of the blue. Hello, son.
I very much have said I couldn't cut this gun.
You mean you've just literally called in my home to hit me up for food?
Yes.
You see, this is the problem with my house being on the way back to his mother's. My house is between his mother's house and where he hangs out with his mates, which means when he's on his way back, yeah, you're gonna have to come say hello.
I'm not going to. Still reading the covers.
Right. Don't read all of it.
I'm not going to.
Anyway, yeah, just to close off the light. Shut up, I'm finished.
Sorry.
Did I explain my life is like chaos? And isn't it? Isn't it like... I mean, I do my first Sunday nighter and it's devolved to chaos. And it's the Corb crashing it.
Yeah.
Nothing changes. Anyway, to close off the lighting question, because I think it really is a good question, is I think if you're going to use sort of like object sort of lighting on a board, instead of placing it in places like street lights, which in areas that, you know, are well lit by normal room lights, yeah, think of like my Buddhist temple where it's actually quite dark inside with the roof on. Yeah, a little bit of ambient lighting in there to light up would drastically enhance that piece, but it wouldn't require the room lighting to be dropped down to see it. So it's a win, yeah, but it doesn't break the game. Yeah, so I think when you're approaching any sort of cinematics and stuff like that, it's a bit like the idea of like having the sound effects of gunfire. Yeah, little quiet off in the distance. But if you stand, if you're blaring it through the speakers and it sounds like you're standing next to a 122 millimeter howitzer letting rip, yeah, every 3 minutes, it's going to get in the way of your game. Right. Say hello. That was the Corb.
Yeah.
Yes, he's grown up. Corbatron 5000, destroyer of live shows, and everything in my cupboards. Funnily enough, have you had a good evening, sir?
Yes, yes.
Oh, you're heading back to your mum's?
Yes, sir.
You are, right.
Got to be at Emily's at 6 in the morning.
You've got to be at the girlfriend's 6 in the morning. And you know you're down at mine on Tuesday, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Emily won't be wrong. She's got some family thing.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. Right. Beautiful chaos. It is. You need one of those lights outside, quiet recording process. The kids actually got me one of those for Christmas once. I never bothered putting it up on the basis that they'd just ignore it. He's smiling as I say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello, Odin. Yes, he's gotten big. A Victorian skirmish with some street lights and smoke in the side alleys and a few windows lit would be amazing to see. You see things like that, yeah. Especially if you're lighting like under alleys and stuff like that. Look, your nose is so red. There you are. There's Corbin. You need like a good night's sleep. Wait, I thought you were at your mum's.
No.
Where were you? In fact, let's not have this conversation live on YouTube, eh? No wonder you look knackered. Right, you go back over there. Yes, that's cool. My little bundle of joy. The red-nosed pillager. Rudolph will call him from now on. He needs a comb. He needs a wash. Thank you, Yuri. I can get you a red light saying live flirting in progress. Live firing in progress. Big red flag. Do they use lights now, do they?
Yeah.
Do they? You don't have to put a red flag up then.
I think they're doing some places.
Range watches. Kids have hollow legs. They certainly do, Grawley.
Yeah. Might make an apple in it.
Well, that's fine. Tried saying, love seeing me back. Well, thank you guys. And listen, if you are liking me back, remember, if you like it, links are down below. Yeah, jump on Patreon. PayPals are much appreciated. If you, I'll check it one more time. Yeah, before we log off at the end of the show, just to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Yeah, I don't think I'm missing anyone else. But if you are enjoying the show, the links are down below. That was it. Hey, we're not finishing yet. Yeah, first off, I've only got 91 likes. So, like spike. Let's get that to 100 right now. We can do that. And that doesn't even involve PayPal. So come on, scroll down, tap that button. Yeah, that didn't take long. Nice one. You could use him in my Christmas game with that nose. I'll lend him to you.
Really?
You were bullying Corb online.
Yes.
This was my first time. I've had fun. Glad you're back. I'm glad to be back, mate. I really am. I've had a blast. Smash that like button and you'll get 7 years good luck. See, I like that. Yeah, we are smashing it. Nice one, guys. Hey, Sander.
It's 8 years of the show.
It's only 7 for smashing my like button, mate. Right, you off? Or
Possibly.
you,
Can I grab a lift after? Or...
are you really?
No, I came in for scram, but if I can get a lift after you've done, I'll take the lift.
So you'll happily stay and see your father if I'll give you a lift back to your mum's.
Yeah.
But if not,
I'll
sod you,
I'll be
Dad.
back by 10.
Well, in which case, mate, you've got 15 minutes to make it to your mum's. I love you.
Don't bully me, please.
Son, I'm
Please.
literally in the middle of a live show.
Afterwards.
You've got 15 minutes to make it back to your mum's. On your toes, lad. Go on, cadet. What are you, corporal?
Yeah.
Off you go, on your toes, lad. Love you, son. Go take your big cadet bag. Off you go, lad. Whip him. I'm not double time. Yeah, I know, we shouldn't. It is proper parenting. I mean, you see, I've got at least 130 people backing me here, dude. You're walking. Mate, it's less than a mile. You can do it in 15. Sorry, 14. I love you, son. If he can go out all day and up and down, around town and with his mates, yeah, he doesn't need to play the pity card with me for a lift. Turns up, walks in, raids me pantry, and hangs here. I'll hang with you and wait till the end of the show if you give me a lift. If not, I'll have to leave now. I'm my lad's taxi all the time. I feel you, mate. I do it all the time. And to be truthful, yeah, if the weather was nasty or something like that, or he was in, if he was in a rush or something, but it's Easter holidays, the weather's fine, and it's like a 10-minute walk at most. And he's 16 with long legs. I mean, if he actually cuts across the park, I think it's only like 2/3 of a mile. And he wants a lift. He's a dwarf. I have 3 boys, dreading the day they come back home for food, drink, and lifts. It happens. Yeah. With the kids, now after me and work Kerry separate, they actually live between us. So it's kind of weird, but I kind of have Willow 1 week and Corbin the next. Yeah, at the minute. It's just how they've decided they want to do it at the minute. Yeah, which is quite kind of interesting, but it just means I get this randomness of Corb will just turn up even when he's not here just to raid me, or Willow will. She'll just call in as she's passing. Yeah, and since they've got keys, I can't even lock them out. Mel, I copied your corking battle mat idea for a video and it came out terrible. So much fun to make. Gonna be for photographing or ball action. I can only share what I can share, mate. I'm sorry it didn't work out for you. Right. Let me do this. I think I've got one more person to shout out. Harry Odin, dues paid. Thank you, buddy. Right, I think we should call it now. It's been an awesome night, guys. I am so chuffed that I've actually jumped on. Listen, guys, if you enjoyed it, links down below. But above all, keep watching the videos, keep commenting. Yeah, now, on the way out, we'll do it by routine. Yeah, 10 taps. If you've had a good time, I need 10 taps from you. 4 for the hell, 1 for the space, 4 for the yeah. Want to put a smile on my face, eh? It's been an absolute blast. Guys, thank you for a wonderful welcome back. I am planning to do a live show next weekend. Yeah, next Sunday night. I will keep you updated in the vlogs, obviously, but I'm enjoying it and I'll see you soon. All the best, yeah? Ta-ra.